We usually get clients coming to us when they have a supplier that maybe has given them some bills and a credit note, and they're not sure what to do about matching it to the bank. So in this case, Rooms for Hire have made a payment to Sarah's Marketing Magic, which is just a dummy demo account that we have. They've made a payment of £780. If I click on here, it will give me an idea of all the outstanding invoices from our suppliers so that we can see whether or not there's any. And I can see there's 2 for Rooms for Hire, but one is for £300 and one is for £1680. So neither of them are for £780. So because I'm not sure why this doesn't match, I'm just going to go and have a look under contacts. I'm going to go and have a look under R. And I'm going to have a look under Rooms for Hire. And when I go to account, you can go on bills, which will show you what's outstanding, but I usually go on account history and then you can just see if any have been paid. So I can see that there's quite an old bill from August. Obviously these are all quite old, but say that one's sort of the oldest bill. And before that, there was a large credit note. And then we've got the new bill. Again, the numbers give it out, but you don't really know when the credit note is because it's got different numbering. But yeah, so you can see from here that there was a credit note and then 2 bills, and that they actually owed £760. So if you take the credit note off, that's how much money you owe them, and that luckily is what you've paid them. But obviously we need to match all of these 3 items to that £780 to clear them. If we just part paid 987, the other 2 would just be sat here showing as red, and that wouldn't look very good and it wouldn't be right. So we just have to go on and work out how we're going to show that we've part paid one of these invoices with the credit note. So if I go into the banking and if I go back to the transaction where we paid them, the first thing you really need to do is deal with a credit note, because the credit note is going to make this figure bigger. If you don't deal with the credit note first, you'll just run out of money basically, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. So when I go onto Rooms for Hire, it's automatically trying to make me do a bill payment. But what I want to do is I want to go into more options. And then when I go into more options, just ignore this, just because it's a dummy account. Your account won't have all of that. Instead of having money out, we're going to look at money in, and we're going to find a bill refund, which is another word for a credit note. So if you were into bill refund, again, if we then look, you can see that there is a refund. There's the Rooms for Hire. It knows which credit notes are outstanding, and we can select that refund. Now, the key step here, not to miss out, is we need to change the value. So the value that we want to use is 1200. You can ignore the minus. You can just put in 1200 as bill refund and create a new explanation. What this will do, which is really quite cool, is it will take that 780, it will allocate the credit note, and it will say, right, you now have £1,980 payment to your supplier, because they've given you a credit note. Now we've got 1980, we can click on the red item, we can go back to saying this is a bill payment, and we can go back to finding the earliest, so it's best to do the earliest first, the earliest bill from Rooms for Hire, and we can click on it, and then we can explain it. And then it's clever enough that it knows that from that £1,900, there's £300 left that has not been allocated to a bill. So you've got the credit note in the bill and there's £300 left, and funnily enough, that will be allocated to the last bill. So by doing it this way, we're taking the credit note into account and allocating it against the bills. And then if we were to go back into the Rooms for Hire account, we would see that everything's green, that the credit note's been refunded, everything else has been paid, and you don't owe them any money. If we go into bills, again, you're going to see that everything is ticked in green. The bank balance, the bank transactions all explained in green, and it all balances. You can do this with any number of credit notes and bills. I think with something like Travis Perkins, you could be looking at 20 different credit notes and bills on one payment. There's an infinite numbers of bills and credit notes that you can do in this way until you've explained the money at the bank and balanced your supplier account. I hope that helps.